Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hope, and I want to talk to you a little bit about your calling. And there's some really amazing things in life I could ask you about. Have you ever seen a baby being born? Have you ever seen a butterfly struggling as it emerges from the cocoon? And I'm not going to ask you that. I'm going to ask you this. Have you ever seen your best? Do you know what that looks like? Draw a picture. I'm going to hold this where you can hopefully see it okay. Draw two circles. On above one, write the word identity. And then above the other one, write the word calling. And right in the center there, you'll see that star. That is your sweet spot. And this is what I want to say. If what you love to do and what you were born to do overlap, that's wonderful. Think about this concept. Your best, maybe you know what it looks like. Maybe you've never seen it, but your best is wrapped up inside your calling. And then your calling is, a little bit deeper than identity. Could be fingerprints, DNA, your ancestry, whatever. But however, calling is something deeper. It's a sense of purpose. Why were you born? Now, some people know early in life what their calling is. Like, there's a little boy, he's 5 years old, and he's such a good concert pianist that he's won worldwide competitions. And at the age of 5, he knows what his calling is. For myself, it was later on in life before I knew what my calling was. My third year in college, I came to know Jesus. He radically changed my entire life. I mean, wonderful. That's a story for another day. But at that time, I changed my major from piano. I decided to geek out with speech language pathology. And to be honest, I kind of have a fetish about the brain, but I'll skip that part. Anyway, the question is, can you articulate your calling? Can you see it? Are you so familiar with it that it drives what you do every day? And let's think about the word calling for just a minute. The C is for curiosity. Ask yourself good questions like, what keeps you awake at night with excitement? And what's the one thing in life that you just can't imagine not being able to fulfill in your lifetime? The A is for acceptance, not just of other people, but of yourself. No more negative self-criticism and that negative self-talk that goes on in your mind. Train your mind to be focused and shove out all the negativity with the greatness that's inside of you. The first L in the word calling is for love. You see, when love is the centerpiece for everything that you bring to the table, then it's as though God's fingerprints are left all over your legacy. And then the second L is for laughter. God's word says that laughter is a medicine for the soul. And at the same time, research studies show that the human body doesn't know the difference between a real laugh and a fake laugh. Isn't that crazy? The physical benefits to the body is the same. So no need to memorize a bunch of corny jokes. Just laugh more often. That's it. The I is for impassioned. As I said before, when what you were born to do overlaps with what you love to do, then, my friend, you are a force to be reckoned with. I am serious. The N is for never stop. Yes, exhaustion will come some days, and discouragement will pay you a visit. But by all means, don't invite them in for coffee. Instead, make best friends with courage and persevere. The G is for grateful giving. Whether your calling is a hard one or an easy one, no matter, still give yourself to it completely, as though your life depends upon it. Now, quick backstory. I was born to a schizophrenic mom who smoked like a chimney, drank more alcohol than water. And the emotional, the physical, and sexual abuse I suffered as a child was horrific. At age 15, I was in a near fatal car accident, which resulted in 6 cosmetic surgeries to my face. And, you know, the emotional scars, though, from my childhood and the accident was so deeply engraved in me that at age 21, I tried to take my own life with an overdose. However, God, in all his greatness and his love for little old me, he intervened miraculously. He had a better plan up his sleeve for my life. And I I don't know how, but at a young age, I knew there was some reason I was born. I just didn't know my calling until later. At that point, at 21, when I made that decision, everything about my life changed. Now, as I said, I would not want that on anybody. But I want to tell you about 2 songs. If you don't remember anything else I say this whole time, write this down. These 2 songs will bless your heart. I know they will. One is by Travis Green. Just go to YouTube, look it up. The name of the song is Good and Loved. And I'll put the link maybe at the bottom under the video, but that song, choose the 9-minute one. It's really precious. It will touch your heart and bless your soul. Bless your socks off. The other one is Fear You Don't Own Me. And I love the words to the song. Anyway, look that one up. That will bless you. And I want to say that back to the concept of your calling, your best is wrapped up in your calling. You see, I thought of this morning, or a couple of days ago, actually, that your best deserves your calling, and your calling deserves your best. If you want to, you can quote me. It's okay. I'm going to say it again. No, your best deserves your calling, and your calling deserves your best. So whatever it is, and if you know what it is, or if you're still searching, ask yourself those curious questions. Accept yourself completely. And I want to thank you for listening to me, to my heart, and hopefully I've touched yours, but with some hope and inspiration. Before I end, I want to read to you just a short little paragraph from my book. And the day I was born, my grandfather passed. My mom, I guess, he was the one person in her life that she was close to. She really knew that her father loved her. And so the day he was going to come to the hospital and see his daughter, who had given birth to me, a child out of wedlock, which was a real big deal back then. And I'm writing about what my life was like as a result of that day. Year after year, hearing my mother recite the events of that day with deep sadness and anger woven into every syllable, I came to believe that I had caused my grandfather's death. There's no rhyme or reason to a child believing that she caused such a tragedy, but this concept sunk deep into my psyche until it became my truth. Thus, guilt was plastered on the walls of my heart and mind long before I learned its meaning. I'm not certain of her past or what her self-worth was like at that time. I can't be sure of the color or the size of the bruises on her heart from that dreadful day. I only know, and she later confirmed, that my very presence produced shame and resentment within her. During her frequent display of anger, she expressed that I should have never been born. So from birth to age 18, when I left home to put myself through college, the two constant companions I had had were fear and despised. Which part of an infant dies when she is not wanted or loved? More importantly, not ever being awakened, make alive again. Is that possible? How can you uncrush the spirit of a devastated child? How can a heart torn to pieces be mended? Is that possible? Absolutely, my friend. And I will attempt to answer these questions and many more for you. Again, whether you know your calling, you're really familiar and specific with it or not, I dare you to wildly chase after it. Let your life shout to the world, brace for impact, because who knows how many lives are going to be changed forever because of you, because of your calling. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.